Okay.
So we're just like, hey there, it's our first review since we're back or whatever.
Alright, well, that's recording now.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello and welcome to Book Club Blue.
Hey, we're back.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's our first review we're going to do after a long break. Hopefully everything goes to plan. It's not like we've suddenly developed a distaste for each other and can't no longer review books or something.
Well, I hate you, but you know what.
Yeah, well, it's a love-hate thing.
Yeah, he loves me, I hate him.
Yeah. You crack me up.
A Clockwork Orange.
It's a great book. This would be one of our definite must-reads. I think we've got a few others coming up, but this is a definite must-read.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't read this, then you might as well, I don't know, change yourself in the face.
But if you hadn't read it, you might well have seen the film. I mean, the film is like a classic. It's a defining piece of cinema.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I saw the film before I read this.
Yes, first time, yeah.
Yeah, so I think...
the first time I read it was when we did it with us. I'd had it for a long time, but I've been meaning to read it.
Yeah.
So he also, it's a big cultural reference point, Clockwork Orange. The whole William Tell overture thing's been used a million times now.
Yeah.
And when you think where that came from, using it in cartoons and stuff seems wildly inappropriate.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I often think that, like, what the heck?
But, so the film, it's actually, when it came out, it was like a really shocking film. It was banned.
Well, it was drawn by Stanley Kubrick because he was getting death threats because of copycat incidents.
Well, yeah, and...
my dad actually remembers the skinheads who used to started wearing like cricket boxes and shit.
Oh shit, really?
Bowler hats for a while.
Well, the thing is it actually tones down some of the stuff in the book.
That was a little bit like, whoa, no.
Particularly the scene with the two girls.
Yeah, definitely. That's fairly innocent and humorous in the film.
You know what, it just seems like he's having sex.
Yeah.
When in fact he's can I say this on YouTube?
Well, yeah. It's YouTube, come on.
He rapes them.
And they're really young. Yeah. And he's 15, and Malcolm McDowell's about 20-something into the film.
Yeah.
So, pretty extreme. Anyway, the point is that the book is equally as important as a piece of culture, and also as a piece of controversy as the film. So, we've got stuff written down on the book today, because we need a bit of help.
Yeah. If you didn't catch that, he said we've got stuff written down.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not even used to speaking properly anymore.
So what's next on the list?
Next on the list is Burgess, which looks like it says dangers in my head.
So we're going to talk about dangers.
Right. He's a very well-known sci-fi writer. I'm not sure I can list another book by him off the top of my head.
That's the problem, isn't it? That is a problem.
He was often put off by how this book was what he was known for, and it kind of stopped him. He was kind of like typecast within his own book or something.
Yeah, it was like he was stuck within like the confines of A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks.
But he was but he's a renowned sci-fi writer. I mean, his books still get critical acclaim. It's just they're not quite as
well known, or like they haven't got a big cult following, like,
or a film made of them, for instance.
It's definitely a cult thing.
Yeah,
because it's just such a big following.
So the inspirations for the book. This is a bit of background about Burgess. You see how we're getting a little more structure this time around. Maybe this gap was a good thing. We had a spiritual journey within. I'm rambling. We need to keep it short.
Maybe
that's what we've forgotten.
Maybe you should,
we don't even know how long the batteries are going to last today. Anyway, so the inspirations for the book were the sort of teddy boys and later the mods in England, violent youths.
And then you've got like the Russian youth.
Yeah, he went to Russia, and that's where the language, which we'll probably go into in a minute, came from.
Yeah.
So he decided he wanted to kind of do a book about sort of free will and
good and evil.
Yeah, good and evil, but in youth.
Yeah.
And how it's kind of like a part of life, but it is.
It's more innate than anything. It's not like saying, oh, you've got the authorities are saying, oh, the youth are bad and they're getting worse, but they're not. They've always been little shits, haven't they?
Yeah.
The youth. So look now, you've got chavs or whatever.
Yeah. And that's an important thing. What was I going to say? Basically, I just say you wanted to approach it sort of metaphysically, theologically, or something. That's the way you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But I think a common misconception with this book is something to say like, if Burgess were alive now, what would he think? He'd think his dreams have come true, or his nightmares have come true. That it's a prophetic book, but
no, he wouldn't. He would say this.
What this book is saying
is that it's always going to be like
there's always violence. That's why it's not set in a specific city or time, because it's something that will always be in life, especially in youth. And that's basically the main point of the book, that there has to be
because
evil.
You've got to go through both to find which you fit into, good or evil, whatever.
Yeah. And furthermore, a great irony of this book is it's basically a sort of Christian allegory. It's all about free will.
Yeah.
And evil is a theological necessity. It has to be evil. I think we covered that now.
So the Nadsat
I'd say, yes.
The language or the more like a culture or like a way of life.
Mm.
You said it. Will was telling me earlier. Nadzak comes from the.
It's the suffix for like teens and numbers
in
Russian, yeah.
So a lot of the slang from
yeah.
Nadzak language, like Nadzak being like there, like in the book, not the Russian thing.
Drugs and all that.
It all like the like drugs or devotchkas. It all comes
and
from
all that cal.
And all that cal.
Yeah.
All that comes from Russian.
Reading about it, there's actually some very clever wordplay in there, like because he uses the word, the Russian word for bag for lady.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, which is quite clever. So I suppose we should get onto the plot then.
Yeah,
specifically.
It's split into 3 parts. Is it 3 parts?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-part book.
Other thing I read, I just get to read it in. This is going to be quite a word-heavy review, I'm sorry, but we've been building this up for a very long time. Anyway, apparently he sent a letter to someone saying, "I've just finished part 1 of the book, it's all crime, the punishment comes next, I feel pretty sick." Pretty much that's something that's not, it's not quote, but yeah.
That's pretty cool. So yeah,
which kind of makes you think he's not mental, because that stuff is pretty disturbing at the start of the book.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Alex and his droogs,
they'll go out terrorising everywhere.
Like I said, the start of it is the crime.
And then the second part is him in jail.
Yeah. He's betrayed by his friends.
Yes. And then he finds religion.
Yeah.
In jail.
Well,
kind of, but he doesn't want it, really.
It's more unlike, as we could say about Marceau and outside, it's kind of an absolute truth of him finding it interesting.
Yeah.
In terms of the violence in it and stuff.
Yeah,
because
there's
the belief in God.
It's like, because that is the point that I think Burgess is trying to make. There's been violence since biblical times.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way. That's good.
It's ridiculous to say that it's going to get worse when most horrific images are portrayed within the Bible.
Oh, well, like, what's his name? That saint who skinned himself alive, or was skinned alive.
I don't know, we'll probably put a little annotation on about that. But, and then the third part is about him coming out of prison, and he's like a bit messed up from the treatment that they gave him.
Yeah, but he does make an attempt to reform.
Yeah, and then eventually it's kind of...
Well, the treatment is the most important thing. The treatment takes away his free will and makes him good. And the point of the book...
But it makes him feel sick.
Yeah, it's Pavlovian.
Yeah.
There's the association with feeling ill and the images.
Attach a substance, which is quite interesting.
They also remove his like for music by chance.
Yeah, because of Beethoven.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of shows the free will, because that's like a personal thing, his like of music, and they're taking that away.
And he used that to like fuel his like evil doings.
Yeah, it's very well done in the film. Like I'm not sure I really appreciate the classical music like A Clockwork Orange. It's just
the power of it.
Yeah. I've got the soundtrack actually. I should probably play it, but maybe we'll do it at the end.
Maybe we'll do it at the end. And then
must be getting on a bit, Kris. Not to put this up in 2 parts.
And the ending, the chapter. Still got the chapter.
Yeah. There's the book, the copy of the book you used to make the film doesn't feature the last chapter, which is in our copy. What have you done with that? Because it wasn't published. The publishers didn't want it initially. In the end of the film, as you may know, the Ludovico treatment is kind of undone, and he has the ability to be evil again. You don't know if he will. It's quite ambiguous at the end of that chapter.
Yeah.
But
he hits his head.
Yeah. Well, he tries to kill himself.
Yeah.
Because of the treatment, that's what they say. The government feels very sorry and all this rubbish. Anyway, so in the last chapter of the book, he's out again with a gang. He's a bit older. And towards the end of the chapter, he starts to see the error of his ways. His heart isn't really in it, and he kind of wants to mature.
Yeah.
Which is quite important, because it shows how violence.
He saw his friends. He meets his friends, and they got married.
And they don't speak Nadzak anymore.
Yeah,
which is quite nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of showing that evil is something innate, and it's kind of part of life, but you can grow out of it.
Yeah.
So I think that was good.
Choice. It's about choice more than anything.
But again, kind of in a more sardonic way, the end of the previous chapter is quite potent to end on. He says, "I was cured, all right," and it's brilliant in the film. His nightmarish vision.
Crescendo, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually thought using that word when I was making notes earlier.
Yeah, so it's a big crescendo ending, but then the last chapter sort of brings it down again.
Yeah. So it's a very wittily written roller coaster ride of morality. Morally thoughty things.
Theology.
Yeah.
Other such words.
We're not going to end this video by saying "Vidi well, my brothers" or any of that cow. So I think we'll just get on with it.
Yes.
Great read. Got to read it.
Vidi well.
See ya. It's good to be back, isn't it, Kris?
Pardon?
It's good to be back.
It is.
See ya. Cheers.